As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
Holy shit, we got someone in the studio today who hasn't been on the show in a long time.
Yep.
It's been a while, but it's Patrick. He's back.
Hey!
Woohoo!
Whee!
He's filling in for Brittany. We don't know how long.
No.
He said he might do another episode next week, so you might have him for a little while. So get your socks out, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, you might have to listen to this voice a little bit longer.
So thanks for coming, by the way, man.
For
I really
sure,
appreciate
bro.
it, dude. We got to go see a really cool fucking movie this week, guys. For episode 143, we're going to be talking about the new Bill Murray and Jim Jarmusch film called The Dead Don't Die. So, it's a new zombie comedy. A zombie?
Zombie, yeah. Was that what they call it these days?
I mean,
Is that what the kids are saying?
it seems to be a little weird to call just a Jim Jarmusch movie just a comedy or a
Right.
zombie. Seems weird.
Yeah.
It's more of like a, I'll explain it later, but we just watched it last night, and then we took a little bit of a break to kind of digest what happened in the movie, because there are some things in it that make you think a little bit. Nothing too bad.
We're
but
just going to digest it, see what comes out the other end. You know
that's
what I'm
right.
saying?
So how have you been? What's going on with you? Why don't you share the news?
It's been a little hectic. You know, I had the parents move in with me, and my wife is pregnant now.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Little John should be joining the party here in October.
Joining the party. Ain't gonna be no partying after that.
Well,
Your parties are gonna be fucking up all night, fucking taking care of the goddamn baby, which is fine. I get it. I mean, it's part of life, but
yeah. My wife's like, you're not going to be watching horror movies with him. I was like, when I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
yeah, you're gonna be watching horror movies. He's gonna sneak down. You're gonna tell him to look away. He's going to watch anyway, and then he's gonna have night terrors, and you're gonna take care of that, and he's gonna become just like us, Patrick.
Right.
It's all part of the greening,
We got to
growing
perpetuate
process.
this circle.
Yeah. So his name is John.
Yeah.
All
we
right.
haven't figured out the middle name yet, but definitely John.
See, when I was talking to you about the name, Kelly didn't seem too excited about the name.
Oh, yeah. She's come around, I think.
She was, because we were all talking about what the middle name was be, and I told him to call him John Solo. And then we started talking about what it was going to be, and he was like, yeah, but it's got to be something really unique. And she was like, you picked the most generic fucking name for your child, Patrick.
Well, when you think about it these days, everybody's trying to be unique, right?
I guess.
So it's
yeah.
what about just using the classic? You know what I mean? It's a strong name.
What if you change the words around or something like JONN?
Oh, I don't want to be one of those people.
One of those?
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just want the tried and true American
America.
name. Well, actually, John is a name everywhere, really. But
Right. I wanted to call him John Luke.
Picard?
Yeah, that's Jean.
Jean-Luc. I knew that there would be some sort of Star Wars or Star Trek reference.
Actually, I didn't think of that because I actually did want to call him Luke.
Yeah.
But there's already a Luke in her family.
Oh.
So she didn't want to go that route. So I was like, what about John Luke? She's like, isn't that Star Wars?
What about the really strong name, Alex? That's a really
Alex?
good name.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. It's real powerful.
I'm totally kidding. Listen, Patrick, you're going to name your fucking child after me if I have to fucking...
Oh, shit. Sorry, Alex just almost brought the fucking house down.
Yeah, I almost broke the table in half just now. But I got to get into the role.
Right. Right. I love the passion, man. I love it. I'm gonna miss this.
But I'm really happy for you guys. That's super cool. It's been nice hanging out with Patrick a little bit more. I think, didn't we hang out recently, like for a little quick spell or something like that?
Yeah, I came over recently. What was it? I can't even remember. It's been so long ago, though. It's probably like a month ago I came over here.
Yeah, see, ever since he left, he just forgot about me. He's one of those ex-girlfriends sort of thing where it's like, it's not you, it's me. And then it's like he never showed back up again. It's like... Well, why didn't you fix yourself, Patrick? But now you're here, so I guess you fixed yourself. Fucking bitch. We keep it classy around these parts here in the podcasting area.
We're trying to make BTV great again. Right?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Please, Jesus. Look, everybody, we're gonna have little red hats that you can all wear. It's gonna have make BTV great again.
Right. It's gonna be terrific. It's gonna be phenomenal. You're gonna love it.
Literally, we just killed off like all of our right-leaning individual listeners.
Just
moving on.
Yes.
There's enough politics to go around everywhere you go. We don't need any more of it.
Just dip your little toe in the internet.
Yeah. Don't you spill that toxic fucking political bullshit into our fucking podcast. I'm sorry. All right.
It's good.
Anyway, so I think it might be that time.
Oh shit.
Horrorshots! All right, guys, so today we're going to be doing a shot themed around Jim Jarmusch's film, The Dead Don't Die. Now, there is going to be tiny, minor spoilers in some of this, but we always try to do a good job of not spoiling it, really. So
like
it'll
tasteful.
Yeah, like they're not going to be like, you're not going to like, we're not ruining the story. We're not doing any of that. So, but, you know, we always try to theme our shots around.
Like classy side boob, right?
Yes. I guess. I don't really...
It's not full nudity, but it's enough to wet your whistle.
Yeah, just like the top of the shaft. You know what I mean? Like it's a little hair, top of the shaft, you're good to go. Speaking of dick jokes, this has nothing to do with that. This actual shot is called Kill the Head. And in the movie, they say the phrase kill the dead. It seems to be pretty popular in the movie. But...
To kill the dead?
Yes.
Kill the head.
Now I'm going to explain what the ingredients are and why we put them in, but it won't ruin anything, so don't worry. Like I said, the ingredients you're basically going to make is a B-53 shot. So, but we added a little bit more flair to it. So it's going to taste pretty decent. So in the movie, they have obviously a lot of coffee. So we decided that we would do a coffee-themed shot, and that's what a B-53 is. It's basically 1/3 of a shot of Kahlua Coffee Liqueur, 1/3 of a shot Bailey's Irish Cream, and one of our favorites, Patrick, is 1/3 of a shot of Sambuca.
Yeah, baby.
Sambuca, baby. We should have gotten some of that.
Dude.
I almost feel like going down to the store and buying some Sambuca so we could do it right now.
Do you have money?
I mean, yeah, I have like $15. I'll throw that down.
Oh, let me check my pocket. What do I got? Because I think a bottle is like 20 or something.
I think I do have $15. Kelly will have some too. We'll have her come in here and do a shot with us.
Oh yeah. Totally. Only one. She can wait. It's like one glass alcohol, right?
No. We're not doing shots with a pregnant woman. Okay, don't worry. Do you want to go down there?
You know what? I can drive.
Okay.
Well, let's pause. We'll be right back.
Okay, we'll be right back. Hold on, guys, and you won't even notice the difference. Poof. Man. And just like that, through the power of magic of editing and podcasting and all the good things in the world of horror, we have Sambuca here right now. So,
yeah. You know, interesting, when we were at the store, I forgot my fucking ID right when we were checking out. Dude.
Yes.
So I had to make my pregnant wife pay for it while I waited outside. So she walked up literally with Sambuca in her hand and a bag of goldfish.
That's so great. You're like, got a kid coming. He's thirsty. He's thirsty. You know what I'm saying? That'll be 1995. Just kidding. Like, and then they'll post it on Facebook, you know, let everybody know.
Right.
I saw an atrocity at the store today. Let me tell you how good of a person I am. Sorry. Can you tell I love the internet? It's a good time. All right, guys. So let's get the ingredients, and then we'll cheers to the shot afterwards. We just got Sambuca. We didn't get the ingredients for the shot because we're broke pieces of shit. If you guys want to suggest a shot and give us the money to make them, I'll fucking drink them. I'll drink whatever it is. You can piss in a cup. Maybe I'll piss in my own. But anyway, so what is in the Kill the Head from the Dead Don't Die shot? Well, again, it's coffee infused. It's a B53. We got a third shot of Kahlua Coffee Liqueur. We got a third of a shot of Bailey's Irish Cream. A third of a shot of the Sambuca that we got on the table here. You're going to splash it with a raspberry pucker. Just a little dabble-do ya.
Like a little kiss.
Little dabba-do.
Dabba-doo.
Dabba-do. And then you're going to rim the glass, before you even take the shot, by the way, you're going to rim the glass with broken Oreo cookies to mimic the dust in the movie that you'll find out if you've seen the movie. For those of you who have, you know how genius we are. But yes, you're going to want to definitely crush up that, and it's going to taste like a chocolate cookie with raspberry-ish, sort of.
Right.
And you would think that the pucker would curdle, and you're probably right, but it tastes really good, so you're going to want to drink it really fast. It is a horror shot after all. Don't be a bunch of fucking pussies, okay?
And then, what do we say? You want to chase that.
Oh, yeah. When you take the shot, you're going to chase it with a nice, fine bottle of Chardonnay. Chardonnay. And for those of you who know, I love you.
Wink, wink.
Anyway, so cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Welcome back.
Oh, did you spill a little?
No. A little.
All right. Salute, my friend.
Welcome back, brother.
Yeah. No, that's smooth.
Yeah, it smells bad.
This is not bad. We're just going to pour another shot here.
I just want you guys to know that this shit's going to amp us up and not make sense when we talk, because that's always what happened when we drank this shit before. So we're going to take another shot real quick.
Yeah, absinthe ain't got nothing on this motherfucking shit. See, I'm already fucking up, dude. That was one shot,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying, dude. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Oh, that would hit.
Ooh, that one tickled. Yeah.
So, if you guys would love to try a Kill the Head shot from the Dead Don't Die, all you have to do is go to longlivethevoid.com and check out our hashtag Horrorshots section right now. Well, that's it for Horrorshots. All right, guys, so now we're just going to go ahead and jump into our flesh and potatoes with a spoiler-free review first of Jim Jarmusch's The Dead Don't Die. Then we'll give you full warning before we jump into the spoilers so you don't ruin anything. We'll get into some trivia, thoughts, things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into our flesh and potatoes of The Dead Don't Die.
Right now.
All right, we're going to do our spoiler-free again, just to remind you. Don't worry, we won't ruin anything for you. I'll go over the details, and then I'll get your thoughts afterwards.
Yeah.
So you'll do the honors to tell everybody what you think. So The Dead Don't Die just came out, obviously. It actually came out this week. The story, the peaceful town of Centerville finds itself battling a zombie horde as the dead start rising from their graves. It's a real nice place, this Centerville. And the tagline for this movie, by the way, I wanted to bring up is, the greatest zombie cast ever disassembled. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense once you see it.
Right. And this movie is, of course, directed and written by Jim Jarmusch. Jarmusch. It's actually like a...
We're not sure if it's German or Russian.
We're not sure. We could have looked it up, but we were making sure how we say it. Some people say Jarmusch.
And some are Jarmusch.
Jarmusch. That's like technically how you're supposed to say it, but, you know, it's Americanized, I guess.
Bastardized, whatever.
Whatever. I mean, maybe he prefers it that way. I don't know. But I say Jim Jarmusch, and that is what it'll be for this podcast. If you have any issue with it, let us know, and we'll gladly remove the episode for you. Just kidding. So Jim Jarmusch, he actually directed Broken Flowers, which was also with Bill Murray. It was like a love film, sort of like a finding yourself, like a guy's going through a midlife crisis while a girl's going through a success crisis, sort of with a photographer boyfriend or whatever. He has another movie he did called Only Lovers Left Alive. It's a vampire film. So this isn't his first horror film. He also did Patterson, Stranger Than Paradise, and Coffee and Cigarette Shorts, which were pretty popular back in the day, which I actually really enjoyed.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, he has like a bunch of people sitting down to just talk. Like Drizza, the old, from fucking Wu-Tang,
right, is
fucking in that with Bill Murray, and so they've been in this movie. Like, in fact, this whole movie is pretty much like Coffee and Cigarettes, but with zombies. So the cast of this movie he's done a lot of other music videos as well, Jim Jarmusch. He actually did the Talking Heads stuff, a lot of Talking Heads stuff.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah. Not Once in a Lifetime, not that song,
Yeah.
Let the water... At least I don't remember. I don't think so, but the cast includes, and I'm just going to kind of run through some of these that we don't need to go over, but Bill Murray, he plays Cliff, the sheriff, essentially. Steve Buscemi, he plays Farmer Miller. Danny Glover plays Hank, he runs
the hardware store.
Hardware store, thank you. Also has RZA, who plays Dean, the UPS guy. Iggy Pop as the coffee zombie. Selena Gomez. Even Carol Kane from Scrooge with Bill Murray. So they've been to the movies together, obviously. She was I got you a toaster!
I fucking love that scene, dude.
Bitch hit me with a fucking toaster. Also has Adam Driver, who plays Officer Ronnie. He is also known as Kylo Ren from the new Star Wars series.
And how funny was he, dude?
He's pretty good, man. Like, he was in Black Klansman as well, which I thought he was really good in as well. Like, really good.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who are hating on him, I think you need to take a second look. I think he's actually pretty good. Also, it has Tom Waits, who is no stranger to Jim Jarmusch.
Right.
He's a huge fan of Tom Waits, and they became friends. He plays Hermit Bob, who is a singer and actor. He's been in many films. Chloe Sevigny, who plays Officer Mindy. She was in the movie Anti-Birth. Which we covered, by the way.
Right.
She was also in #Horror, the Mindy Project TV show, Portlandia, American Horror Story, the new Netflix series called Russian Doll. She's been in a ton of stuff you probably just don't even realize. But yeah, she was in this movie. It also has Larry Fessenden, who is Danny, the hotel owner. He's in a lot of fucking horror movies, genre films in particular. He's been a lot, and he's actually really good in them too. He's in Habit, Wendigo, Stakeland, The House of the Devil, Southbound, the anthology one, Pod, The Ranger, The Battery, Jugface, Your Next, Mulberry Street, just to name a few. I could keep going, literally, with genre films, but he's also in We Are Still Here, which I really like that movie too. You name it. So... Also has Caleb Landry Jones, who plays Bobby Wiggins, a.k.a. Frodo, and he is in the new Get Out movie. He was the brother of the White family. He was in X-Men First Class, Twin Peaks, the newer season, I should say. Antiviral, which was David Cronenberg's son's movie. So where I first heard of him, actually.
Right.
Where they, take people's, I think it was their blood, or their famous people's blood, or their disfigured parts, or their when they get operations to make themselves look pretty, there's people that want to make themselves look ugly like them or something like that. I don't even know. Or inject themselves with stuff. It was really weird.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
But yeah, he's in this. There's a huge cast in this fucking film, which I have some thoughts on. Patrick, why don't you go ahead and kick this motherfucker off? What do you think?
I definitely loved the movie. I mean,
yeah.
It had a nice even pace to it, which was good. It didn't feel like there was slow parts.
Well, that could be debatable for some.
For some, maybe, but I'm just going off my own personal experience. I mean, go watch it and tell us what you think. But it seemed like a movie that I need to watch again. There was definitely a lot of a symbolism in it.
Okay.
It just seemed like there's lots of little Easter eggs to be found.
Okay.
And I really liked the cinematography. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I definitely like the gore aspect of it. I don't want to give anything away,
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it was fun ride. What about you? What'd you think?
Oh man, I got a lot to say about this because
let's hear it.
like if you guys go online, you're probably going to see a pretty divided audience on the matter. Like, and typically you're going to find that anyway with some of Jim Jarmusch films. A lot of people in the critic sphere think that he's impervious to any kind of critique, and a lot of people attack him sometimes because they think that he's not a good filmmaker or whatever. He's just trying to do stuff, guys. Like, I don't really know what to think, but my first thoughts before I went into this film was, holy shit, there's a lot of really good people in this. This could be not good.
Right.
Like, immediately. That was my first thought. I didn't want to get excited because every time I want to see a movie that has Bill Murray in it, I'm like, well,
it's have your reserves about it.
Yeah, we're not gonna get the same old Bill Murray that our childhood maybe fucking adores, but we're gonna get a part of Bill Murray that's still Bill Murray. And he's, obviously highly respected by many people. There's even some fucking literal fucking urban legends about the guy. You know what I mean? Nobody has that.
Right.
You could call them memes, or I would prefer to call them like American legends or whatever, because everybody always has that story. There's even a documentary about, meeting Bill Murray in the middle of nowhere, all these different stories. So it's pretty interesting. Which I like that film, but
I think I felt the closer connection with Bill Murray because I didn't know he was a big Cubs fan, and when I found that out, I was like, "Yeah, buddy."
Oh yeah, well, he's from Chicago.
Yeah, boy.
I kept thinking, in my head, what would happen if Jim Jarmusch, while I'm watching this movie, by the way,
right?
What if Jim Jarmusch, Bill Murray, and the cast took a bus tour through Night of the Living Dead movie? And we're kind of like smoking cigarettes and making fun of the world as we are dying. And that is essentially what I got from the movie.
Right.
Like, without spoiling anything.
They did a good job of that.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, there's a lot of dry humor here, guys, with more than enough confidence to leave a little awkward space in between words for a lot of people. Some people might find that annoying, stupid humor, brainless. Oftentimes in a lot of movies, I feel like these days we get these like sort of neat little packages that talk too fast and don't really soak in the story or atmosphere around you. Which, speaking of which, I actually really liked a lot of the moments and the music in this for speaking of horror.
Right.
Like, it was really good. I was really fucking impressed with the music as well. Like, the shots were really cool with it. The music.
Right. And sometimes some of that music actually played to the humor of what was going on.
And the music very much reminded me of the remake of fucking Night of the Living Dead from the 1990 version.
Yeah.
A
lot of those high-pitchy kind of like uncomfortable sounds.
Very cool stuff, but it is a little confusing for the average viewer, I would think. Not because they're too stupid to get it, but because it's a dichotomy. You got a comedy on one side, heavy-handed comedy, while also having some of the best score music for a horror movie on the other side. So
I totally agree with that.
It's a little jarring for some people, I think you're going to find, but I think it's super cool stuff. Very well done there. But I noticed it because I love fucking music in horror movies. But yeah, it's a great score in a comedy film. You know what I mean? Which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. A lot of people hate Jim Jarmusch or love Jim Jarmusch. You're always going to find that division. I don't think he gives a fuck about it either way. And so critics who hate him, he probably just laughs it up. He doesn't give a shit because I don't think he really makes these films for anybody but himself and anybody that gets it. Maybe not in the fashion that you think you're too stupid, because I've been seeing that in every one of these fucking reviews. Oh, everybody always keeps saying I'm too stupid to get it. Look, it's not a bright film. It's not that deep. It just has some personal inside sort of jokes and fan service jokes and nods in it. You know what I mean? But he's always kind of been that guy that's sort of focused on sort of like the banality of life and like, while showing people in their element. You know what I mean? Like trying to get that raw sort of vibey thing from people in a way. Some people seem to call that like canned, like fake sort of thing, but I think he really just like takes interest in like conversation. There's no doubt that the characters in this movie are the prime directive in dropping this film. Really, the zombie is just kind of like the scenery.
Right.
It is in there, and there is jokes in there, and there is like social commentary on that as well. Nothing like ultra deep here, but I think it really I think it's kind of funny that how he shows this world and our nature, which really kind of plays into the whole end of the world style with the humor and everything like that, and how nothing shocking sort of feeling. I'm sure that some of the humor will not be everyone's cup of tea, but for those who can appreciate an indie film with a little bit of heart, I think you can appreciate this. Although some people have felt it's what they call brain dead. Pun intended. Yes, I know.
Right.
I personally just think of it as like par for the Jim Jarmusch course, you know? If you've seen his shorts called Coffee and Cigarettes, it's pretty much that with zombies and some new talent. It feels actually to me, like while I was watching it, I felt like it felt like Fargo to me.
Yeah, I could see that, dude.
Even the show or the movie,
Right.
either or. Like, it's got that space in between it. You know what I mean?
To me, it seems like if people don't appreciate this movie right now, they will.
Yeah, it's not one that's going to grab everybody by the balls and be like, you love this film!
Right.
Like, but I think it's just quirky enough for me to really enjoy it. You know, I think, you know, I personally laughed from it pretty heartily, and I heard you laughing too.
Oh, dude, there was a couple parts that just tore me up.
It's
dude.
not even like the smartest humor either. It's just such a situationally weird humor that's almost kind of like akin to like fucking Seinfeld.
Right. To me, I think where the humor came in a lot was the delivery. The
Okay.
way it was delivered and the way they set things up really drove everything home.
Okay, that's fair. Did you like the gore? Because I thought some of the gore and what they did with the zombies was pretty unique.
Oh, yeah. Definitely unique. And
Made it a different zombie film than you would
Exactly.
normally see, which I liked. Mm-hmm. That may or may not make sense, but it doesn't really need to. And how they did it, I think. You just kind of want to see what the hell is happening and then, you know, follow along with the weird situational
stuff. And that could be part
stuff.
of his film style and the way he shot this was just to give people the finger who's like always asking for more. You know,
Maybe, I don't know.
You didn't explain this or you didn't explain that. It's like, well, you know what? You didn't need to. This was just supposed to be a fun ride.
Right. And the cast in this fucking movie, my God, there wasn't a single person that I hated.
Right.
Or that I didn't want to see. Like, there was, like, really tiny minor stuff of, like, background characters that kind of, like, I focused on for some odd reason, but they didn't really draw away from it. Like, at first, you're kind of like, okay, like, how am I supposed to feel during this movie? Like, it takes a little while to get into it. So, for a lot of people, that journey to that point of figuring it out, like, in the sense of, like, how am I supposed to react to this movie? Like, any movie you would, might not be worth the wait for some of those people, but for me, it was. And all of it kind of worked for me. I am actually super impressed all around with every one of the actors in the movie. I didn't have any qualms with anybody, and it all kind of felt like it worked together.
Yeah.
So it is one of the better Murray films we've seen in a long while. It's not the best Bill Murray film, obviously, but I will say that I felt more at home with Murray here than I have in a long time.
And I totally agree with you there.
And that was important to me, and that was a win, in my opinion, for the movie. I also think that it's a huge notch in Adam Driver's growing resume of films that he's doing.
To me, dude, he was the funniest out of everybody in that movie. He was the funniest.
They worked pretty well together.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I mean, I could see some people having a debate over that, but I personally think they did a good job. I enjoyed all the cameos and nods that even maybe I might have missed that are probably so deep that we wouldn't be able to catch it because you have to be like Jim Jarmusch to get.
Right.
Which some reviewers have said. But I don't think that's a big deal. Like, so
Right.
what?
It's an Easter egg.
So what that we didn't fucking hand feed you fucking dialogue to your fucking brain? Like, calm down. I personally, I enjoyed Tilda Swinton's character. She did the weird and sort of perfect character for that role, and I'm sure she was all about it because she likes taking on really unique roles, and I've always appreciated her. I loved her in fucking Constantine, and she was great in fucking Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked her, but this movie, by the way, and I know I'm kind of long-winded on this, but it's really kind of hard for me to kind of express it and cover all the bases for everybody because I know that this is not going to be a film like we always say for everybody because it really isn't. And you can see by the scores online that it's at like 50, like mid 50s range for both viewers and critics.
I will say though, if you give this film 1 star, then you're probably a dick.
Yeah, well, most Most think that they're designing the movies and they're crafting the filmmakers to make better movies. So I don't feel like that. I'm just here for the ride. This movie does have social commentary, but it isn't like anything new per se.
Yeah.
You know, it's not pushy, but they do it in a sort of fun way, I think. Sure, it's a commentary that many have seen and heard before, but nothing's really changed in the world except the banging on the drum that we're hearing is obviously getting a little harder to avoid.
Yeah.
And so it's coming out into the mainstream, even though Jim Jarmusch is not mainstream to say, but I just mean that it's obviously getting a little bit harder for us to avoid some of the things that we're talking about. And yes, we are deaf to a lot of it because, you know, we're tired of hearing it because either nothing is getting done by it or nobody wants to hear it and fucking breaks it apart. So there's going to be people that have issue with that for sure. And that's fine. I didn't. This movie has something to say about, you know, how we make our life choices and the odd, crappy world that we sort of bump into around each other and all cohabitate in. And to me, that's kind of funny, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Set against the scene of a zombie backdrop of the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the same way that, you know, sort of lighting up a cigarette as an asteroid is like charging to the earth and you're smoking a cigarette or a cigar and you clink your fucking 2 fingers of fucking whiskey with your buddy and say, well, we fucking tried, man. That's the way the atmosphere and the tone that I get from this movie.
Right.
And I think that's kind of appealing to me. And I like the quirky independent films with a little bit of heart. And I mean, it's got Bill Murray and it's not a bad Bill Murray film. So that's a win for most people, I would say, out there. If you're more particular and you need more commentary to stand up for all these specific things that maybe turn your dick into a fucking erection, it might not be for you.
Yeah, definitely.
It might not get you wet. It got me fucking laughing. It got Patrick laughing.
Yeah.
What would I score this film?
Oh, we doing scores again?
I'd probably give this one. This is tough for me because, like, the difference between like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 is how frequent I would basically see it. Like,
right.
I don't think it's a perfect film.
No, not by any means.
But I definitely will add it to my collection. So I'd probably give this like a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I would go with that. I may go with like probably 7.
You think? Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, and it's weird. Usually I go by like a half a point to figure out what I want.
That's what I was gonna say. With like maybe 7.5.
7.5, 8, maybe. I want to lean more because I want to give it some credit for doing some things different.
Well, it has one of your idols in. I mean, I know you love Bill Murray.
Oh, 100%, dude. I'm a huge Bill Murray fan. I grew up with him.
Right.
Like, a lot of my humor and who I am today was not necessarily the same as him, but
right.
It
was shaped by him.
It was shaped by a lot of him and his humor and jokes and style. Like, I just loved his personality of just going out there and just doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I love that about Bill Murray, and I think he still has that. It may be a little canned to some in this movie, but I don't think so. I've seen other films. Like, I saw St. Vincent. I think it was called St. Vincent. It had the chick from fucking Ghostbusters and Bridesmaids. What's her name? The bigger girl.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Yes, that's the one. She actually did a movie with him that was actually pretty endearing, and I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a good film for him, but wasn't like the Bill Murray I wanted to see. This is like a 7 or an 8 out of a Bill Murray. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me, like what I wanted.
For sure, it definitely had that. He was. It seemed like almost like old Bill Murray for a second.
Well, it's like, I mean, come on, dude. Bill Murray and fucking zombies. Yeah, we seen fucking the other movie that had him as a cameo, right. Zombieland, but that's not the same, dude. It's not the same. That was like a cameo. This is like a whole fucking movie. So it ain't no Ghostbusters. But does it have to be? Nothing's ever going to be Ghostbusters again.
No.
Nothing's ever going to be Scrooge. You know,
No.
Nothing's ever going to be Groundhog Day.
Yep.
Groundhog Day.
Or Caddyshack. Or
yeah.
We could just
Well, Caddyshack is like a unique Bill Murray that you really don't see.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
That was like early SNL fucking Murray.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it, guys. If you are able to withstand space between words and awkward situations a little bit, I think you'll appreciate it. Plus, I mean, it's not a bad watch. Do you need to rush out and see it at the theater? It's kind of a wash there. I don't know. Like, I am glad that I went to the theater to see it, but I definitely think this is a VOD rent for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go to the theater and see it, again. I might have to because my wife was kind of pissed that I went without her.
Well, it'll be on VOD probably soon, so
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's got a limited run for the most part,
Yeah.
so I think you'll be all right. So, but yeah, guys, so that's our thoughts on it. We will be getting into our spoilers and trivia and things that were in the movie. That for those of you who have seen the movie that don't mind it being spoiled or whatever, we're gonna go ahead and jump into that right now. So we're gonna go ahead and sound the alarm.
Please do not listen to this if you have not seen the movie. That's right, please do not listen after this. If you have not seen the movie, you will indefinitely ruin your experience. Thank you, and have a nice apocalypse.
So now we're into the spoiler territory. If you're listening past this and you don't want it spoiled, you done fucked up, okay? It's fair game. So is there anything that just grabs you without spoiling the ending right off the bat, like that you were thinking when you went into this movie?
Just the way they broke the fourth wall over and over again.
Okay.
It tickled me.
Yeah, you like, that's kind of getting into the end. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is one of my favorite things about the film.
it didn't take itself too seriously
Right.
there. Yeah.
Like,
Kind of reminded me of Funny Games. You ever seen that?
no.
Where they kind of look at the camera and like break the fourth, is it the third wall?
I think if they look at the camera, I'm thinking it's fourth wall, but it was kind of different what they were doing here, so I don't know if that's considered the fourth wall or not.
I don't remember. Anyway, we're kind of sambooked out. So,
Oh,
do you feel it, by the way? or-
dude. Yeah.
I feel like doing another one, but
Yeah.
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 All right.
Cha.
We'll do that, and then we'll make no goddamn sense as we're speaking.
Yeah. Kind of like this film,
That's what people think. Like, I legit saw somebody say, like, does anybody actually like Jim Jarmusch films, or you're all just trying to pretend like you're fashionistas?
What? Okay, are you trying to sound like a dick?
It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, why do you gotta be so goddamn cynical? Like, not everything is good or bad. There is an in-between.
Yeah.
And a good fucking reviewer can fucking discern between good and bad. In my opinion. I'm not saying I'm the best or anything, but I definitely make a goddamn effort to actually break that down and not just try to either shit or love a movie.
Right. You can see the merit in some things without just glossing over the whole thing. Going, oh, no, is this whole terrible?
Yeah, like, one thing went wrong, the whole movie's bad now. Like,
Right.
that's not fucking reviewing, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to harp on my own cock and squirt in my mouth or anything about it. But I just...
Although you do have your cock out. You might want to put that away.
I just think, like, some people get a little fucking, like, conceited and, like, really egotistical and think that, you're not doing Lord's work here, guys. You're just fucking watching a goddamn film. Like, shut the fuck up.
We
Not
talking
every...
to- I'm sorry.
I wrote this one guy and I said, yeah, that's the great thing about critics. Some like ketchup and the others just don't like anything at all.
Right.
And that's pretty much the fucking summation of it all. Like, who gives a shit? Do you like ketchup, Patrick?
I do, but not in Chicago.
Okay. I don't know what I'm getting at. I just think it's silly. Like, I'm not mad that people don't like the film. I don't care. But for you to go, oh, does anybody actually really like Jim Jarmusch films? Like, come on. I don't care how respected you are, who you are. Who gives a shit? Like, I understand it's your opinion, but you act like everyone has your opinion.
Right.
And that's not true. Like, nobody gives a shit what you think. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
It's the Sambuca. It's getting me.
These shot glasses aren't really that big. It's the glasses that make it look huge, but that shot's not that big.
Actually, we should probably jump into some of the trivia.
All right.
I'll go over, and then it'll, we'll spawn into our spoiler-ishy thoughts and stuff. Now, on IMDb, it says something different, but the car in the movie that Selena Gomez was driving, in the movie, the Chicago hipsters or whatever that they were kept calling, Cleveland hipsters.
Yeah, Cleveland.
They drive, it's the same car as in The Night of the Living Dead by George Romero. It's a 67 Pontiac Le Mans. Now, on IMDb, for some reason, it says Tempest. They even say it was a Le Mans in the movie.
Right. What the fuck is up with that?
You even see the label on the side of the fucking car that says Le Mans. I don't know, but anybody can write on IMDb, so that's why I always take some of the stuff that they say on there with a grain of salt. So some of these are from IMDb, so take it with a grain of salt, some of it. But supposedly, Centerville is a reference to a fictional town in 200 Motels by Frank Zappa. It's an album, I guess. I'm not a huge Frank Zappa fan.
Either am I. You got to be.
It's a little bit longer in the tooth than I am. But it is a real town in Ohio.
Huh.
So they actually have an Ohio town called Centerville. I was wondering, for whatever reason in my mind, it was like, wait, did they do something in Centerville? Like, did they shoot in Centerville or something like that? But everything's always been shot in Pittsburgh. And they even say Larry Fassenden, he even says, oh, they're from Pittsburgh. And he said, well, it says here they're from Chicago. Or they're from Illinois, so they must be from Chicago.
Right.
So that was a reference to Night of the Living Dead. Not a far stretch here, guys. We're not, yeah.
So you did a little research more than I did, which was none.
Good job, Patrick. Good job. I'm proud of you.
But the numbers thing, remember I was telling you?
Oh, yeah.
Those numbers seemed familiar to me. Were they the numbers from Lost?
I didn't look that up. I forgot about that, but I do remember, and we had this conversation after we got out of the theater, that there was the kids in the movie that were in a child correction center. Right. It was a Centerville Detention Center is what they called it. And there is definitely, it says on the back, CDC.
Yeah.
Which I think was a nod to, Center of Disease Control.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right, and that those people wouldn't even know what the fuck they're doing. They don't even know what they're doing. They're just like kids, like trying to like do things too. I think it's like a whole societal thing, like everyone's stupid kind of thing. It's a very drab world that Jim Jarmusch paints on the way. Very simple world also, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know if the numbers are, if you guys know anything about the numbers, give us a fucking DM. Let us know. I'd be curious to hear what you think. So Sturgill Simpson in this movie was a running theme for a song called The Dead Don't Die. Well, that song was actually written for this movie, obviously.
Obvious.
So it wasn't actually a song based, or wasn't the story of the song is prevalent to the movie that was written, not the other way around. So the song didn't come out first, and they were like, oh, this fits coincidentally to the story that we're writing. You know what I mean? But essentially, it was written to kind of like mimic, the world that we're all zombies no matter what. Even after we die. Always going to be zombies. We're all zombies.
Looking at our phones.
But he also is an actor in this film, by the way, that guy.
Really?
Yeah, he was the guitar zombie who was dragging his guitar around going, guitar. Guitar.
That's awesome.
Also, by the way, speaking of those kids in the detention center, what the fuck happened to them?
Dude, they really didn't touch base on that again.
Yeah, they were like, hey, I think I found a place to go. We can hide. And that was it. You never saw him again.
Which makes me think that I don't think he's done with this yet.
Maybe, no. Well, I don't think he would he's not a sequel-y kind of guy. I think personally it was just them saying how stupid the government system is, and that they would just run and hide in the end. They wouldn't actually go to help everybody, CDC. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I mean, if you really want to get into it deep, I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
Well, it does. Like I said, it does feel like a film that just has loads of symbolism in it, and I just haven't been able to watch it enough to even digest all that.
Right. Also, by the way, Tilda Swinton's character in this movie, gave Jim Jarmusch the idea of doing a little zombie movie while working on Only Lovers Left Alive, which is the vampire film. So this has been a thought in his mind for a long time, thanks to a little earbug by Tilda Swinton. I thought that was kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Craig was actually originally supposed to have a part in the film, supposedly, but because his shooting schedule would have overlapped with Adam Driver's, Jim Jarmusch was forced to cut his part completely out of the film prior to shooting.
Does it even give us a hint of what his character would have been?
No. I'm curious about it, but if you watch any interviews with Jim Jarmusch, he pretty much spoils the whole movie every time he talks about it. So, yeah.
So it's like listening to Beyond the Void, right?
I guess, yeah. Well, if you're in the spoiler section, I guess. He just jumps right into it. He's like, hey, I'm Jim Jarmusch. By the way, the end is...
You're like, you dick.
But yeah, back into some of our spoiler thoughts. I definitely feel like this movie is trying to tell us to take responsibility for our own actions in a way.
Yeah.
While not being too preachy. Like, I know there's some people are going to be like, oh, God, I hear it all the time. You know, there's going to be, like, people on the left and the right who are bickering over one little thing or another. I really don't think it was supposed to be taken so deeply. I don't think his film was meant to make smart people feel stupid, like, because they take a lot of offense to it. If you listen to these critics who like to jerk themselves off in mirrors, they really take offense to this movie, because they think that because somebody's like, oh, well, you just didn't get it. So they basically write their entire articles based on one guy who said, you know, whatever, you're too stupid to get it. So they get offended by it because they're little fucking snowflake angels. Little baby angels. Sorry, guys. I know if you didn't like the film, I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm just saying. Like, some people go a little bit overboard.
Right.
But I honestly think, you know, it's kind of like I mentioned before. It's a dichotomy of some losing battle, but we need to try anyway. And that's kind of like the meaning of life in a way. Is that no matter what, we're all going to fucking die. Right. We're all going to be doing the same shit. But we got to try our best because that's really the journey, not the end game.
Right. And you pretty much, some of those things that you said were like directly from the movie.
Well, some of it, yeah. I mean, but that is definitely what I gathered from the film.
Definitely well said.
Yeah, I'm sure some people will be upset about it because oftentimes these days, if you have a message, it's either a good thing or an atrocious thing you need to vent over 15 YouTube complaint videos that you see all over the goddamn internet these days. You know what I mean?
10 things wrong with blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, why I think SJWs suck for fucking wanting to change things. or SJWs ruined my coffee. You know, like, whatever. Like, I'm not saying that I love SJWs or
right.
So I get it. Like, I understand. To me, humor is humor, but also not everything has to be SJWs are taking over the world. Anyways, to me, it's more about kind of living a full life with some other, you know, social commentary that's not so deep cutting.
Right.
Revolutionary.
Not everything has to be so deep.
Yeah, no, because everybody's a fucking revolutionary online now. You know, like, you either have to stand up. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people out there that don't give a fuck about anything and are revolutionary. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, they all are revolutionary, armchair revolutionaries. You know, Facebook revolutionaries. Like, ooh, look at you.
Right.
But, you know, I think we're all just fucking zombies. I think that's the point. Consumerism, like, we fall into these tropes, these sort of kind of like systematic ways we live life. And we're all just like feeding out of a trough, just like every other fucking animal on the planet. You know what I mean? We're not any smarter or any dumber. We just are. And I think that's kind of what the movie is sort of saying. It's like, hey, what are you going to do about it?
For sure. Yeah.
It's not to say, oh, you shouldn't do something about it, but what are you going to do about it? Like, we all do our own thing. We're all different. And all the characters in this movie are very different. You know, they all have some part in the world to play, you know, and the ones you think are going to survive don't. We're all going to die. Doesn't matter. It's all going to end badly anyway. Remember? That was like the thing they kept saying over and over again.
Right. This is going to end badly.
What did you think of the zombies in this movie? Like, what did you like or dislike about them?
There was nothing I really disliked about the zombies. I mean, the makeup was great. The effects they used it was different.
What did you think of, like, I mean, they used dust. We can talk about it now. So
right. The dust was very, like, at first I was like, what?
I don't know what the point was necessarily. I'm sure there may be a Jim Jarmuschian way to think about it, but I didn't really catch it.
That we're all dust in the wind.
Yeah, maybe. They did say something about dust, didn't they, in the movie?
I can't remember
now. Oh, yeah, at the very end, Tom Waits is talking about we're all just dust in the wind or something like that.
Did he actually say that?
He said ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Okay.
So that's maybe why they did it that way, to kind of like symbolize, like, we're born, we die, and that's it.
Right. You know, like I said, there's loads of symbolism in this movie, but not all of it's maybe smart.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't. Is it enjoyable? Yeah. Did I care that I spent what? I didn't spend anything, actually.
Yeah, I bought you the ticket.
You bought me the ticket.
Yeah, it was $30, by the way, for both of us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well,
it was expensive.
Was it,
I don't know
was
why.
it worth $30?
I had fun.
I had fun. I
Hearing
enjoyed
you laugh
myself.
next to me was pretty cool. I was like a little worried at first. I was like, oh God, he probably hates it.
Well, I think a lot of people found subtle things more funnier than I did.
Oh, the people to your right.
Huh?
The girl to your right.
Oh my God. Dude.
And it was at the Alamo, guys. Like, he heard some chick just like, oh my God, that is so funny. I can't believe how funny it is. And she's talking. I was like, why didn't you put a card up? And he's like, I didn't want to be that guy.
Like, I don't want to be the dick that's like, I'm going to go tell mommy. You ruined it for me. I just wanted to enjoy the film, and I was just hoping that she would quiet down. And she kind of eventually did, but I still heard her whisper. But if you're out there and you're listening...
And you go to the Alamo especially, and you go, fuck, dude.
And you know who I'm talking about. You're wearing a green dress, and you had glasses on.
You really want to like get into it, huh?
You're a real piece of work, lady.
In the Alamo, for those of you who don't know what that is, the Alamo Drafthouse is a cinema that has been notorious for kicking people out of the theater for going on their phone or talking during the movie.
And everybody was doing it. I heard whispers all around. It wasn't just her mostly. But there was whispers everywhere, and I was just like,
There was a lot of laughing in the audience.
No, there was. And like I said, some people found stuff funny that I didn't. Or if I did find it funny, I didn't think it was laugh out
it's
loud
like
funny.
I said, it's kind of like very awkward, situational, sort of dry humor.
Right.
Nothing that anybody said was like, oh my God, I can't believe, It was more like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Right. It was delivery and the timing to some of these jokes that really made me crack up.
You know what I loved about this film is the whole, like, the daytimes were longer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand. I don't know if I believe the fact that fracking caused the Earth to go off its axis, because if it did, it would be so violent that we would have earthquakes everywhere. It wouldn't be so subtle as it was in this film.
No.
Like if we have a polar shift, it's not going to just happen and then nobody knows about it. Like, it's going to be an Earth event. You know what I mean? Like, cities are going underwater, others are not. Like, at least that's what they say. But still, I loved that the longer day cycle, because in my mind, I'm thinking, for people who may want to do a lot in a week, they always wish that they had more time in a week. Like, for me, I'm always like, God, I wish like we had 36-hour day cycles. You know what I mean? Because I could get so much done, and I would get enough sleep. I could work for 24 hours and get a fucking 12 hours of sleep, and like everything would be perfect. Well, in this movie, they have literally fucking like 48 hours of fucking daylight, and then fucking like one short night of regular night, which was a little awkward.
Yeah.
And every time it went to night, the moon glowed with this like purple, charged up sort of Super Saiyan fucking like Goku shit fucking around it, and then like zombies would come up out of the ground,
Which they never explained really.
I liked kind of the mystery in it. I don't know if I'm like, there's another movie that's out called something Schoolhouse Rules. I can't remember. It's got fucking Simon Pegg in it. Okay. But they talk about fracking and like what it causes. Like, fracking is like a big thing. To some people, they don't give a fuck about what fracking does. Others, they do. People in the middle are like, that could be pushing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't really care. I just thought of it as a fun story, whatever. Like, whatever caused it, it was still cool.
I was like, whatever, give me my fossil fuels, shut the fuck up.
Right. I like the little nods that they had to other stuff, too. Like, I'm fairly certain they had some other movie references to maybe like his other films that maybe we didn't get. Like, we got Adam Driver holding the fucking keys he gives the keys to Tilda Swinton. So apparently Jim Jarmusch actually, somebody was like telling him, no, don't put that in the movie. He was like, hold on, let me make a call. I'll get back to you. He made a call and got the okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just
like that. Yeah. Got a call, made it happen.
He must have connections. Like, he must know.
Well, I mean, look at the brood of people that he fucking knows, right? You know what I mean? So
I thought it was weird when I saw Iggy Pop's name pop up there. I was like,
oh no, that's not weird at all. That's actually part of the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, I think he was in one of those. He was in one of the Cigarettes and Coffee and Cigarettes.
See,
yeah,
I never watched that. So.
Yeah, you should watch those. They call them single shorts, but they're all in there. So
okay. That was hilarious too, by the way. Just the car he was driving.
Yeah, that was just little subtle things like that, right? That's dry humor. Because it's funny seeing a fucking officer drive around in a what?
It's a smart car.
Yeah, like a mini, one of those little ones.
Like little, yeah. Like, he was as big as a fucking car.
And it's so funny, too, because at one point in time, he asks Chloe Sevigny, Officer Mindy, he's like, so what do you think of your, what's the douchey car that everybody drives out in California?
The electric car.
The Prius.
The Prius, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what do you think of your Prius? And then you're like, you don't realize it yet because they haven't shown his car, but then you see him pull up to the crime scene where all these people, like these two people died at the fucking scene, and he pulls up in this fucking like little tiny car, and it's just kind of comical that way.
Right.
Because like I feel like he's making fun of both sides in the political spectrum, and maybe it's not even political at all. It's just like, we're just silly humans.
Right.
You know? And even Mindy pulls up to that crime scene, by the way, and she's like, oh my God, wow, Linda really did a good job with the flowers out here. Really livens up the place. And they're all looking at her like, yeah, this is probably not the time to talk about flowers. There's 2 dead people in the diner.
Oh, the animal bit. I mean, that went on for like how many times?
Yeah, that might have been a little too much, to be honest with you.
I honestly thought that like twice or maybe 3 times was enough. Like,
yeah.
Like that's the rule of 3. If you go past 3, it's overkill.
I mean, if you really wanted to try to put a deeper spin on it, maybe he was talking about synchronicity.
Maybe.
And like, at the end of the world, people have, what are they called? They say, and this is theorized, that... You're
going to get all cerebral
actually, I don't know.
on us,
Actually, it's not even theorized. They actually have proven this. When mass death or events happen, people have precognitive... deja vu.
Deja vu, yeah.
A lot of people have deja vu at that moment, and they were doing that in the movie a lot. So I wouldn't put it past him to say, oh, well, maybe they were repeating that joke because they were trying to make it, like, all familiar. But they kept saying, oh, my God, like, it's almost as if they were torn up by an animal.
Or several.
Or several animals.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I said. And then she says it. And then the newscaster says it.
Yeah. That was the 4th one, because it was... What was it? Bill Murray said it, then the deputy said it, and then the other deputy said it, and then the newscaster said it. And I want to say it happened
Actually,
one more
it was Hank.
time.
It was fucking Danny Glover. Then it was Bill Murray. Then it was Adam Driver. Then it was Mindy. And then it was the newscaster.
So within that one scene
yeah,
alone, it happened 4 times.
5 times.
Well, no, just in that scene was 4. And then later on, you hear the newscaster say it.
When I heard it, I was like, okay, that's enough. Like...
Don't do it again.
What else did you like? What other thing did you think about this? Like, what did you think about, like, is there anything that stood out to you that you were like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what was really funny?
Oh, really funny. It was the very beginning. When they go out to the woods to talk
Hermit Bob?
The Hermit Bob, yeah. Oh my God. And they're like, he's like, all right, just calm down. We're going to leave you. You just calm down a little bit, all right? And they start walking out and he's just like, hey, Bill. Fuck you.
Cliff.
Oh, Cliff. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. But yeah, that was, it tickled me.
When he shot at Adam Driver over his head.
Right.
And like the funny thing is that Hermit Bob, the meek shall inherit the earth. And he like knows more about it. He was like, these mushrooms aren't supposed to be growing at this time. What's this all about? Wow, the moon's really fucked up. Like the whole time he's like unraveling the truth and just sort of watching the world destroy itself while he technically he's the smarter guy, right?
Right.
Like he doesn't involve himself in all this stupid shit. He's the hermit. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like him like watching society at a glance and being the smart one.
It's like me just like looking at my window eating Taco Bell and being like, you guys suck.
And I don't know if that's Jim Jarmusch's way of saying, yeah, the world's kind of fucked up. I really don't want to deal with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, in a way, I mean that it may seem selfish to a lot of people these days, but it's getting so convoluted. I don't know, like anymore.
Right.
Like I don't know, how do you partake? Because even when you stand up for good things, people tear you apart.
Exactly.
And even bad people are saying that they do good things. So like you don't know who to trust anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it almost feels like you should just separate yourself from society because I don't know, these mean streets on the internet.
Another thing that really like made my side hurt, it was a good belly laugh for me, was when what's his name? Adam Driver?
Yeah.
He takes a couple good whacks at that guy's head, and he's just like, it took him like 4 times to get through it, and he's like, you took a couple good cuts at that. Would you used to play baseball?
That was pretty great. And then that part where he's at the fucking hotel where he's cutting he's cutting off the fucking heads of all the fucking hipsters and everything like that. And then he's like holding Selena Gomez's head and he's like, hey. And she's like, they weren't even zombies. And he was like, yeah, but it just, could be just a matter of time. Like, he's just so amazingly cool about it.
Right.
Like, in the very beginning, also, when he gets shot at by Hermit Bob and they're driving back, he's all like, hey, so what do you think, You think we're ever going to arrest that guy since he's breaking the law all the time? I mean, he is breaking the law. And he's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think probably the other funny part that I really liked was when Hermit Bob is out in the woods and he's by Farmer Frank's farm.
Yes.
And then, like, he actually sees him gets actually taken out by the zombies, and he's laughing about it while he's eating the chicken he was accused of stealing.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
this is good chicken.
This is good chicken. Well, because everybody thinks he's a dick. They don't even care about his politics, by the way, which I thought was an interesting thing that they did in the movie. That it's like, because Steve Buscemi's character, Frank, Farmer Frank, is it Farmer Frank?
Maybe
Farmer Miller.
Okay.
Whatever. It might be Frank Miller, which would be even more weird because isn't that the comic book guy?
Yeah.
Maybe he's making I don't remember.
Like a nod.
Anyway, but Farmer Miller, the funny thing is it's not funny. It's kind of jarring at first, but the way that everybody reacts to it is so different. Mm-hmm. Like, cause you're like thinking, you see Steve Buscemi sitting in a diner next to fucking
Danny
Hank,
Glover.
who is Danny Glover, who is obviously an African-American guy, and they're just chopping it up. Like, it's no big deal.
While he's wearing a hat that says, "Make America White Again."
Yeah, make America white again. And it's like, it's funny because they like, Steve Buscemi says a joke. He says it's
about the coffee.
Yeah, he's like, it's too white.
No. It was too black for my taste.
Yeah, too black for my taste. She's like, do you want that coffee to go? And he was like, yeah, it's a little too black for my taste. And Danny Glover looks over at him and he's like, the coffee was too black. It's too black.
Right. And it's like, why are you even correcting yourself by wearing that hat? It's like,
right. It's like he should be proud, right? Like,
right.
So it's like kind of weird. Like everybody just thinks he's a dick. They're not even like trying to say, oh, he dies because
which could be symbolism in itself, while he's actually trying to say something about America right there. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to think too deep into it.
Right. We're trying not to get too cerebral.
But I just think it's kind of interesting how nobody really reacts to that. They all just, all you ever hear in the movie is not what his political leanings are, but that he's just a dick.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. There's no like political ideology spewed out in this movie whatsoever.
No.
Like, it's just, I don't know. So there may be something there. I don't know. I don't want to overthink it, though. Yeah.
Well, maybe you should try to get him on the cast.
Yeah. Steve Buscemi? Okay, yeah. Or
no, not Steve. Yeah,
Jim Jarmusch?
Jarmusch.
I mean, I would love to have him on, of course. So now we got to talk about one of the things that I really... Oh, and I also liked Frodo's little spots.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was the one that dropped all the horror knowledge in it. Caleb Landry Jones.
Right.
Yeah, he dropped some of the horror knowledge. And Selena Gomez was like, yeah, like a lot about films. And they're all making fun of him. And then like RZA comes in before that and he was all like telling him, he's like, can you drop some knowledge on me? And what did he say? What was the thing that RZA said?
He said,
it's okay in the end. Everything's okay.
He says something about be still and take in the beauty or something of the world.
Something about that, yeah.
Right.
Don't overthink it, essentially.
Right.
But he said something, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't either, dude. Damn.
It all works out. Or something like that.
Something like that. Like, and enjoy the beauty around you.
Yeah. Like RZA's the like token like knowledge dropper or whatever. Right. Yeah. Which I thought, for RZA being in a movie, like he actually didn't do too bad there. You know what I mean?
No.
He's been in other stuff, but I don't know. It was kind of a nice little cameo, But it's definitely one of those movies where people you expect to live don't live. You got to admit, like Jim Jarmusch has quite a variety of friends. Of pretty cool people.
Yeah.
And regardless if you like his films, he obviously knows who's pretty fucking awesome for the most part. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or who's interesting. So whether you get along with him or like his films, regardless, you have to appreciate that, he wanted to try.
Yeah.
Like he said in the movie, I tried. Because like even Adam Driver and Bill Murray is like, I love the part where he's like, yeah, I already read the script. And he was like, wait, you read the script? And he was like, what the fuck?
He's like, he only gave the parts that we were in.
He only gave me my speaking parts. He's like, you read the whole thing? He's like, after everything I've done for that guy.
You think you know somebody.
You think you know somebody. And then all out of the blue, we have the fucking spaceship show up.
Right.
And fucking Tilda Swinton goes floating up in the middle of all the zombies, and she just smiles.
I really wanted to see some more samurai shit go off.
Right. I was expecting a full-on battle at that point in time, right?
And she, like, what was the deal with her just killing the 2 zombies that were by her and then just walk through the rest of them like it ain't no thing?
I think what she was saying is that, I think what they were trying, maybe what he was trying to say is that, you know, they took curiosity in us, but they were like, whatever, it's the same everywhere else.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're all kind of just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's what they were thinking, because she's the weird one.
Right.
Integrating into human nature, and she's really an alien, because they kind of flash her face a little bit while she's getting sucked up.
Yeah.
So it's probably just like, because even Bill Murray's like, of course it is, or something like that.
What was the point?
Say it again?
What was the point for her to tell them to meet her in the graveyard?
Maybe to let them know that the whole thing had happened. Because she was like, I'll stay here and take care of it. And then maybe we'll meet up at the graveyard later.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. She's like, okay. And she's like typing on the computer.
Right, but first she did like the whole like, I'm going to wave it on. Like she just like, did you notice that?
Oh,
Where she
yeah,
just,
like she
waved her
had
hand
powers
up?
or something.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool, though. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
was good.
I like this quirky film, man. Like,
I enjoyed it. No, dude, I definitely enjoyed myself.
I don't know why anybody was hating on it. Like, I don't know why doesn't need to be hate. If you think it's average, that's fine. But anyway, so when Adam Driver, his character, fucking, what's his name? Ronnie. Officer Ronnie.
Yeah.
He goes, Bill Murray's like, so was that in the script? He was like, nah. Not at all. Must have added it afterwards, I guess.
Right.
He's like, so did you read the rest of the script anyway? And he's like, well, yeah. He's like, well, what happens? He's like, well, I guess we give it our best, and then it doesn't end very well. And he's like, all right, let's go do it. And they have this last little fight scene, and they get taken over, and then Tom Waits is in the bushes going, God damn, man, Cliff and Ronnie, what a bitter end for their life. You know, but I guess that's just the way it is. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And they also, we forgot to mention, they have the scene with the zombies and the cell phones or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just, you know, typical fare for that kind of commentary for this movie anyway. So Wi-Fi, yeah. Siri.
Siri,
yeah Siri. So do you have anything else to add to that? I mean, like, what else do we talk about?
Not much. The one thing I would like to say is just try not to take yourself so serious when you go watch this movie. Just let go, sit back.
Let go of your normal conventions of like how movies should be.
Right.
And just watch a quirky film for the sake of a quirky film by a guy who just wanted to make a movie with his friends. That's what it seems
maybe
like.
Try to think that he didn't make this film for you. He just...
Well, maybe he did. Maybe I don't know. I can't speak for him.
Neither can I, but I'm just saying... And not everything's for you. Just try to let go of your reservations and just go along for the ride. You know what I mean? Just enjoy it while it lasts.
I don't know. I thought it was a fun film, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I mean, do you really think it deserves to be a piece of shit like some of the critics are saying? Like
No.
they've been giving it like some low scores. It's either you love it or you hate it.
Right.
And I totally get it. If it's not for you, I get it. But I think if you could just like kind of kick back, you know, I think some people think that the only reason people like it is because Jim Jarmusch is attached to it. 2, all the stars in the movie. But there's other movies that have like all-star cast that suck. And typically they suck. I wouldn't be saying that it was like decent or good. You know, do you guys agree? Would you give it like a 5? Would you give it a 4? Would you give it a 1? I mean, if you are, you're dead to me.
You're fucking dead.
You're fucking dead to me. I got puppies in the back that I busted the heads open with a baseball bat for saying 1. Just 1. They didn't even watch the movie. You ever bash a puppy's head in?
Oh, it's exhilarating, let me tell you.
They're like, Jesus, this got dark. It's fucking dark.
Anyway.
I don't know. I enjoyed the movie.
I did too.
I think I'm going to buy this for my collection.
You're definitely getting a Blu-ray.
As soon as I can get it, I'll get it. And I may not watch it right away, but it's just one of those movies I'm going to pop on and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is a good movie.
And the special features alone, I would like to hear some commentary.
Yeah.
And
like how it came together, because you know that this motherfucker, Jim Jarmusch, pulled some favors on this one.
Oh, for sure.
Because there is no way that anybody was fucking paying for that whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't produced by him. It was produced by a bunch of other people. I didn't quite look into that, but I probably should have. Whatever. Fuck you guys. Okay. Anyway, so do you think you're going to come back next week? You want to try it again, or we had fun?
Yeah,
we got some sambuca.
Yeah, I'll be here. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna do next week.
You hear that, guys? Patrick's making a commitment to coming here next week.
And if I don't honor this commitment,
you're out. You're out. Friendship over. He's going to come to my house and beat my cats. No, I really appreciate you filling in. This podcast means the world to me, and I appreciate having you on. Like, you've helped me build this, and everybody's helped me build this. The ones that are listening right now, the ones who listen next week or a month from now, Brittany, Mike, like, everybody is.
Right.
It's my baby now, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad that I can have my friends be a part of it.
For sure. That's why I wanted to start doing this.
Yeah,
just to hang out and just have a couple laughs.
It's fun, man. We had a blast today. We had so much fun. We haven't had this much fun in a while.
Every time we do this show, I can't remember, like I said, any times where I've been walked out of here and been like, that was shit.
There was a couple of times
sometimes with...
I think it was when you were trying to rush out of here, but those were the only times that
there was maybe like 3 times on the whole year that I did this show.
I'm just giving you shit, dude.
But most times,
I done fucked it up, huh?
Oh, you fucked it up.
Anyway, guys, what I'm trying to say is thanks for coming by. I really appreciate you guys always coming by every week to listen to something new. I try to mix it up for you guys. I hope you see that, I'm passionate about this podcast. It really does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to me that you guys listen. So if you got a friend or have some means of reaching more people that are like you, then let them know, because that really does go help us continue to do what we do and continue to put out content, because I'm going to do it anyway, but it certainly wouldn't be too bad to have some more friends along for the ride. So let's go on a motherfucking adventure through fucking Night of the Living Dead together and point out all the funny stuff and make fun of it, just like Jim Jarmusch and his buddies with Bill Murray. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thanks for coming by this week. Thanks, Patrick.
I'm glad to be here.
And we'll see you guys next week for a brand new episode of Beyond the Void.